Hi, in this video, we are presented with the following problem where 1 over x plus 1 over y is equal to 1 over 19 and x and y are integers. So we're looking for integer solutions to this problem. So the first approach to solving this problem is actually to get rid of the fractions. So what I'm going to do is to multiply the left-hand side and the right-hand side by xy. So in multiplying the left-hand side by xy, we would now be left with y plus x is equal to xy over 19. Now, let's actually rewrite this equation to get rid of the 19 on the denominator. So we will now have 19 x plus y is equal to xy. Okay, great. Now, seeing that we're looking for integer solutions, that means either x or y must be divisible by 19 to make this equation true. So what we can do from here is actually, we could assume that x is equal to 19k, where k is a constant, or we could say that y is equal to 19k. So this is a symmetric equation, so we could take either x or y to be equal to 19k. So what I'm going to do is actually let x be equal to 19k, and k is also an integer. So k is an integer, so keep that in mind. So let's actually rewrite our equation. So from now on, we would have x plus y, and let's substitute x equal 19k in our equation. So 19ky is equal to 19 open bracket, this is actually 19k plus 19y. Now we could actually, from here on out, we could actually divide through by 19. So on the left hand side, we would just be left with ky is equal to 19k plus y. Now we're off to a great start, and technically we're almost through with getting our general solution. So all right, so now we are at this point where we still have unknowns equation. We have k and we have y. We don't know what those are as yet. So we could actually say that 19k plus y must be divisible by k, because we're looking for integer solutions. And if this wasn't divisible by k, we would have a rational on the right hand side. So we could actually assume, so let's say y is equal to km. Seeing that y has to be divisible by k, we could just say that y is equal to km, and m is an element of integer. All right, great. So let's rewrite our equation. So y is equal to 19k. So 19k, let me write that properly, plus y. And recall that y is equal to km. So we could actually say that y is equal to 19k divided by k plus y over k. Seeing that we assume that y is divisible by k because we have integer solutions as our final solution. So we could now say that, let's do a direct substitution, and we could say that km is equal to 19. Now this is just direct substitution. The k's would cancel here, plus km over k, and the k's would also cancel here. So we would be left with km is equal to 19 plus m. And as we can see here, we could actually get m on one side of the equation. So let's actually say that km subtract m is equal to 19, and let's factor out the m. So m, k minus 1 is equal to 19. All right, so from this point, since k and m are integers, we could basically get 4 possible solutions because we're looking at the factors of 19. we could actually have 1 and 19 or negative 1 and negative 19. So let's see what would happen when we used direct substitution for each of those values. So let's say when m is equal to 19, so when m is equal to 19, we have, now we're using this equation here. So when m is equal to 19, we have k plus 1 or k minus 1 being equal to 1. So k is equal to 2. All right, so when k is equal to 2 and m is equal to 19, recall earlier from our equation where we said that y is equal to km. So y would be 38. And so these are the equations that we will basically use to find our x and y values. And the one we had for x was x is equal to 19k. Yes, this one right here. So x is equal to 19k and y is equal to km. So in this instance, x would be equal to 38 and y would be equal to 38. All right, so when m is equal to negative 19, so m is equal to negative 19, we would now have k minus 1 is equal to negative 1 and k is equal to 0. So when k is equal to 0, x would be equal to 0 and y would be equal to 0. However, we have to disregard this solution. We have to disregard this solution because either x or y would have to, let's reject. So as stated earlier, either x or y has to be a multiple or a factor of 19. So 0 and 0 isn't a multiple of 19. So this solution is invalid. Now let's move on to the rest of the solutions where we have 1 and negative 1. So when m is equal to 1, that would leave k minus 1 is equal to 19. Now k would be equal to 20. And in this instance, we would have two solution sets. So we would have x is equal to 380. Now that is basically km. So that would be 380. Or actually, all right, so when k is 20, x would simply be 19k and y would be km. So y would be 20 in this instance. And remember when I stated that this equation is symmetric, so we could actually take y as 19k, so that is 380, and x would now be km, so which is 20. And the last solution is when m is equal to, well, the last solution sets is when m is equal to negative 1. So when m is equal to negative 1, k is equal to, well, k minus 1 is actually equal to negative 19. So k minus 1 is equal to negative 19. K is equal to negative 18. And we would carry out the same procedure. We would say that x is equal to 19k, which is negative 342, and y is km, which is simply 18. And the symmetry of this equation would allow for us to reverse these values. So 18 and negative 342. So our final answer would leave us with 5 possible solutions. So the solutions would, well, 5 possible integer solutions for x and y. So x comma y would be in the form of 38 comma 38, 380 and 20, or 20 and 380, negative 342 and 18, or 18 and negative 342. And that would be the final answer to our question. We have 5 possible solutions to solve this equation, and you could actually try each of these solutions and you would end up with 1 over 19, no matter which one you used, which solution set you use. So thank you for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. It would be much appreciated. See you in the next video.